Atomic Habits by James Clear. In his book, James Clear offers practical strategies for creating positive habits, overcoming negative ones, and mastering the small actions that lead to remarkable results. If you find yourself struggling with your habits, it's time to change your system. This book will guide you in implementing a proven system to break even the toughest of habits and develop atomic habits. Let's start by understanding the meaning of atomic habits. Atomic. It refers to an incredibly small amount of something, the invisible unit of a larger system, the source of immense energy or power. Habit. It is a routine or practice that is performed regularly, an automatic response to a specific situation. In Atomic Habits, James combines the most well-established concepts from biology, psychology, and neuroscience to provide a straightforward approach to building positive habits and breaking negative ones. The fundamentals. Why tiny changes make a big difference. Chapter 1. The surprising power of atomic habits. In the first chapter of Atomic Habits, James Clear illustrates the profound impact that small habits can have on our personal growth. By improving just 1% each day, we can achieve extraordinary results in the long run. If we consistently get 1% better every day, we will become 37 times better in a year. On the other hand, if we decline by 1% each day, the impact will be close to negligible. Good habits can work in our favor, like a double-edged sword, while bad habits work against us. Often, there is a gap between our expectations and reality. Until we reach a critical threshold, the changes we make may seem insignificant. We tend to expect progress to be linear, but the results of our habits are often delayed. It's easy to get discouraged and fall into the valley of disappointment, but it's important to remember that it's not a waste of time. Patience is key in crossing the critical threshold. SMART goals represent the outcomes we want to achieve, while systems are the processes that lead to those results. However, focusing too much on goals can lead to several issues. 1. Winners and losers have the same goals, highlighting the bias in goal setting. 2. Achieving a goal is only a temporary change, as the real issue lies in the inputs. 3. Goals can restrict our happiness, as we often believe that reaching a goal will bring us happiness. 4. Goals can hinder long-term progress, as we may not know what to do once we achieve them. Therefore, as James Clear puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Atomic habits are the building blocks of a larger system and can lead to incredible results. Atomic habits are defined as regular practices or routines that are small, easy to do, and a source of immense power. They are the components of a system that promotes compound growth. By consistently practicing small habits every day, we can compress the results of a year into just 12 weeks. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. Changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. We try to change the wrong thing and we try to change our habits in the wrong way. In the second chapter of Atomic Habits, James Clear addresses the first point by demonstrating how our habits shape our identity. When it comes to changing the wrong thing, there are 3 levels at which behavior change can occur. 1. Outcome change. This level is concerned with changing our results. 2. Process change. This level is concerned with changing our habits and systems. 3. Identity change. This level is concerned with changing our beliefs. While outcomes are the results we achieve and processes are the actions we take, our identity is shaped by our habits. Every action we take is a vote for the type of person we want to become. Therefore, to effectively change our habits, we should focus on who we want to be rather than what we want to accomplish. There are 2 steps to changing our identity. 1. Decide the type of person we want to be. 2. Prove it to ourselves with small wins. In order to become the best version of ourselves, we need to challenge our beliefs and grow our identity. Through these transformations, our habits can change our personal beliefs and lead to extraordinary results. Chapter 3. How to build atomic habits in 4 simple steps. James presents a practical guide on how to develop better habits using 4 key steps. First, let's define what a habit is. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. Habits are powerful tools that allow us to address various challenges in our lives while conserving our limited personal resources of energy and attention. Now, let's explore the process of building a habit, which can be summarized by the habit loop, a feedback loop that encompasses the 4 essential steps of habit formation. 1. Cue. The trigger in your brain that initiates a behavior. 2. Craving. The motivational force behind each habit. 3. Response. The actual habit that you perform in thought or action. 4. Reward. The ultimate goal of every habit that satisfies and teaches you. According to Clear, the cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which provides a reward, which satisfies the craving and ultimately becomes associated with the cue. To simplify the concept, Clear presents the 4 laws of behavior change, which serve as a set of rules to help you build better habits. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. These laws provide a clear framework for creating positive habits. However, it's also important to acknowledge the inverse of these laws. The 4 laws of breaking bad habits. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. By understanding both the laws of behavior change and their inversions, you can effectively shape your habits and eliminate negative patterns from your life. Now that you have a solid foundation on the 4 steps of habit formation and the laws that govern them, it's time to put this knowledge into action. Start by identifying the cues, cravings, responses, and rewards associated with your current habits, and then apply the 4 laws to transform them into positive, productive behaviors. The first law of behavior change is to make it obvious. As Clear explains, the key to developing a good habit is to have a clear cue that triggers the desired behavior. On the other hand, if you want to break a bad habit, you should make it invisible by removing any cues that are associated with it. Chapter 4, The Man Who Didn't Look Right. In this chapter, Clear dives into the importance of being aware of our habits. With consistent practice, our brains can detect cues effortlessly, leading to the development of automatic habits that we no longer consciously notice. To change our bad habits, the first step is to actively look out for them. But we can take it a step further by adopting the Japanese system called pointing and calling in our own lives. This method involves verbalizing our actions, making us consciously aware of our behavior. By saying out loud the action and outcome of our habits, we become more aware of our bad habits. The consequences feel real and leave a lasting impression on our minds. However, bad habits can still be sneaky, so it's helpful to implement the Habits Scorecard. The Habits Scorecard is a simple exercise that helps us become more aware of our behavior. It involves writing down and tracking our daily habits, and then scoring each habit as good, bad, or neutral. Chapter 5, The Ultimate Guide to Starting a New Atomic Habit. In Chapter 5, James reveals the most effective approach to developing a new habit. The key lies in utilizing the first law of behavior change, which is to make it obvious. One way to do this is by creating an implementation intention. Implementation intention is a powerful strategy that involves linking a new habit with the 2 most common cues. The formula for an implementation intention is as follows: I will, behavior, at, time, in, location. Here's how it works. Behavior, this refers to the specific habit you want to cultivate. Time, determine when you will perform the habit. Location, identify where you will carry out the habit. By using implementation intentions, you can seamlessly incorporate new habits into your daily life. But that's not all. You can take it a step further with the habit stacking formula. Habit stacking is an implementation intention strategy that involves pairing 2 or more habits together. The formula is as follows. After, current habit, I will, new habit. Let's break it down. Current habit. This is the habit that you already have on autopilot. New habit. These are the habits you want to perform after completing the current habit. By stacking new habits onto existing ones, you significantly increase the likelihood of sticking to them. And the best part? You can repeat this process to create a chain of interconnected habits, where each habit serves as a cue for the next one. Chapter 6. The Power of Environment in Shaping Habits. In Chapter 6 of Atomic Habits, James challenges the notion that motivation is the key to forming lasting habits. Instead, he emphasizes the importance of our environment in shaping our behaviors. Clear argues that making small changes to our context can lead to significant changes in our habits over time. Our habits are triggered by cues, and our minds are naturally drawn to the signals that stand out. As we repeat certain behaviors in a specific context, our habits become associated not just with a single trigger, but with the entire environment surrounding that behavior. Therefore, it is crucial to intentionally design our surroundings to support the development of positive habits. By making good habits obvious and avoiding negative cues, we can create an environment that naturally encourages the behaviors we want to cultivate. For instance, organizing our physical space in a way that assigns a specific place and purpose to each object can greatly facilitate the formation of good habits. When everything has its designated spot, it becomes easier to maintain order and establish routines that support our goals. In conclusion, while motivation certainly plays a role in our ability to adopt new habits, the power of our environment should not be underestimated. By consciously shaping our surroundings, we can set ourselves up for success and make positive behaviors the default choice. Chapter 7. The Secret to Self-Control. In Chapter 7 of the book, Clear dives into the concept of the first law of behavior change, which he calls make it invisible. Once habits become ingrained, they are hard to forget. Many people rely on self-control to steer clear of bad habits. However, this approach is only effective in the short term and doesn't hold up in the long run. Instead, individuals with strong self-control simply spend less time in tempting situations rather than constantly battling against them. Therefore, it's more beneficial to avoid these tempting situations altogether by reducing exposure to cues that trigger the bad habits. Here are some actions you can take. 1. Utilize the habits scorecard to gain awareness and keep track of your current habits. 2. Create new habits by using implementation intentions and habit stacking. 3. Redesign your environment in a way that makes the good cues more obvious and visible. 4. Minimize your exposure to the cues that trigger your bad habits. By implementing these strategies, you can gain better control over your habits and make positive changes in your life. The second law. Make it attractive. In this section of Atomic Habits, James Clear delves into the second law of behavior change. He explains that the craving is the driving force behind every habit. This stage emphasizes the importance of making a habit attractive in order to establish a positive behavior. Conversely, it also highlights the need to make a habit unattractive in order to break a negative behavior. Chapter 8. How to make an atomic habit irresistible. In Chapter 8 of Atomic Habits, James unveils the secret to making habits more enticing. The key to transforming an action into a habit lies in its allure. But before we delve into that, let's first explore our cravings and how they relate to dopamine levels. Dopamine, a neurotransmitter that is released in the brain when we anticipate a reward. Habits that are more likely to stick, such as using drugs, indulging in junk food, or spending hours surfing the web, are associated with high levels of dopamine. These habits are driven by a feedback loop fueled by dopamine. Dopamine-driven feedback loop, a self-perpetuating cycle that compels us to take action in anticipation of a reward. It's important to note that dopamine is not only released when we experience pleasure, but also when we anticipate it. This anticipation is what motivates us to take action. So, how can we make habits more attractive? The answer lies in temptation bundling. Temptation bundling. A strategy that involves pairing a desired action, want, with a necessary action, need, as this pairing reinforces the less probable behavior. But why stop there? You can take it a step further by combining temptation bundling with habit stacking. This involves creating rules to guide your behavior using the following formula. 1. After, current habit, I will, habit I need. 2. After, habit I need, I will, habit I want. By following this formula, you can make your desired habits more appealing and increase the likelihood of them becoming ingrained in your daily routine. Chapter 9. The impact of friends and family on your atomic habits. In this chapter, James emphasizes how the people around us influence our habits and actions. We've already discussed how our environment shapes our habits, but now let's explore the influence of our social circles, focusing on 3 key groups. 1. Close connections are family and friends. Never underestimate the power of proximity. The closer we are to someone, the more likely we are to imitate their behavior. So, if you want to make your habits more appealing, consider joining a social group where your desired behavior is already the norm and where you share similarities with the members. 2. Many are tribe. There's a strong pressure to conform to the group, often overpowering our individual desires. To make it easier to change your habits, surround yourself with a tribe that aligns with your goals and values. By doing so, you'll find it more enticing to adopt new habits that fit in with the tribe's culture. 3. Powerful influencers, those with status and prestige. It's only natural for humans to be drawn to power, prestige, and status. We tend to avoid behaviors that may diminish these pursuits. To make your habits more appealing, seek approval, respect, or praise from individuals who hold influence and status. Their validation can serve as a powerful motivator for maintaining positive habits. By understanding the role of friends and family in shaping our atomic habits, we can leverage these relationships to create a supportive and encouraging environment for personal growth. Chapter 10. Discovering and fixing the root causes of your bad habits. In Chapter 10, Clear delves into the concept of the second law of behavior change, which is make it unattractive. While every habit may seem appealing on the surface, there is an underlying cause that is connected to a deep-rooted desire. By addressing the root cause of your habit, you can develop a strong craving to repeat that behavior. Over time, you start to associate a false sense of positivity with performing that bad habit. This is why it's important to reframe your positive habits and emphasize their benefits, using this insight to associate positive feelings with them. On the flip side, you can create a cons sheet for your bad habits. Cons sheet. A strategy to list the drawbacks and reasons to avoid your bad habit, making it appear unattractive. Furthermore, you can practice linking your habits to something enjoyable and incorporate that cue into a ritual whenever you need motivation. Motivation ritual. A strategy to engage in an enjoyable activity that inspires you to perform a difficult habit. Here are some actions you can take. 1. Utilize temptation bundling by pairing an action that you want to do with one that you need to do. 2. Join and immerse yourself in a community where your desired behaviors are the norm. 3. Make a list of the benefits you'll gain from avoiding your bad habits. 4. Establish motivation rituals that will inspire you to tackle challenging habits. By implementing these strategies, you can uncover the root causes of your bad habits and take steps towards breaking free from them. Remember, it's all about understanding the underlying motivations and finding ways to make positive habits more appealing while making bad habits less attractive. The third law. Make it easy. In this section of Atomic Habits, James Clear explores the third law of behavior change, which focuses on the response, the actual habit you perform. This law highlights the significance of making it easy to develop a good habit and, on the flip side, making it challenging to break a bad habit. Chapter 11. Walk slowly, but never backward. In Chapter 11 of his book, James guides you on how to consistently make progress in executing your habits. The key is to focus on practice rather than planning. It's not about how much time you spend on a habit, but rather the number of repetitions. Let's dive into the process. Habit formation, the gradual automation of a behavior through repetition. 1. Start. Initially, performing the habit requires a lot of energy and attention. 2. Motion. With a few repetitions, the habit becomes easier but still demands some energy and attention. 3. Automation. Eventually, the habit becomes more automatic and less conscious. To reach the point of automaticity, you need to cross the habit line, where the behavior becomes second nature. It's the stage where you can perform the habit without much thought. Remember, it's the consistent actions that matter more than the time spent on the habit to make it automatic. Chapter 12, The Law of Least Effort. Here James dives into the concept of the law of least effort. According to this law, the amount of energy required for an action directly affects the likelihood of it being performed. In other words, we tend to choose the option that requires the least amount of work. To apply this law to our own lives, we can focus on designing and organizing our space in a way that makes it easier to perform good habits. Here are 2 strategies to consider. 1. Reduce friction. The key is to make good habits as easy as possible. By removing any obstacles or barriers that may hinder our progress, we can create an environment that supports our desired behaviors. For example, if you want to start exercising regularly, you can lay out your workout clothes the night before, so they're ready for you in the morning. This simple act reduces the friction of having to search for your clothes and makes it easier to get started with your workout. 2. Increase friction. On the flip side, we can make bad habits more difficult to engage in. By introducing obstacles or adding steps that make it less convenient to perform these habits, we can discourage ourselves from engaging in them. For instance, if you're trying to cut down on your social media usage, you can delete the apps from your phone or use website blockers to limit your access. These actions increase the friction associated with mindlessly scrolling through social media and make it harder to fall into that habit. By understanding and applying the law of least effort, we can create an environment that supports our desired behaviors and makes it easier for us to stick to our goals. Chapter 13, How to Beat Procrastination with the 2-Minute Rule. Welcome to Chapter 13 of Atomic Habits, where James Clear shares a powerful strategy to overcome procrastination, the 2-Minute Rule. It's incredible how even the tiniest habits can have a lasting impact on our behavior. And guess what? These habits often occur during those crucial moments that can make or break our day. We call them decisive moments, those moments when you have the choice to steer your day towards productivity or let it slip into unproductivity. So, how do we master these decisive moments? By mastering the small decisions that yield remarkable results. Remember the 80-20 rule. But here's the catch: sometimes we tend to start with big, overwhelming goals. To counteract this tendency, we have the perfect solution. Introducing the 2-Minute Rule. A simple principle that involves breaking down your habit into a 2-minute task when you first begin. All you have to do is show up and get started. By ritualizing your habit for just 2 minutes, you make it incredibly easy to begin, increase the chances of sticking to it, and eventually turn it into an automatic behavior. Once you've established a solid foundation with a small atomic habit, you can then expand on it using a technique called habit shaping. Habit shaping is a powerful method that allows you to scale your habit up to a larger goal or optimize it for better execution. So, don't let procrastination hold you back any longer. Embrace the 2-minute rule and watch as your habits transform your life. Chapter 14, How to Make Good Habits Inevitable and Bad Habits Impossible. In this chapter, James explores the concept of flipping the 3rd law of behavior change, which is to make it difficult. By making bad habits difficult and creating a better future, you can achieve remarkable results. Here are some strategies to make this happen. 1. Commitment device. This involves making a one-time choice to limit your options and ensure better behavior in the future. For example, you can use commitment devices to help you stick to your goals. 2. Purchases. Making strategic purchases can automate habits and provide long-term benefits. For instance, investing in a good mattress can improve your sleep quality, leading to better overall well-being. 3. Automation. By leveraging technology, you can ensure that good habits are consistently performed. For instance, enrolling in an automated savings plan can help you save money effortlessly. To make good habits more likely to happen, consider the following actions. 1. Reduce friction. Minimize any obstacles or barriers that may hinder you from performing good habits. Make it as easy as possible to follow through with your desired actions. 2. Increase friction. On the other hand, make it harder to engage in bad habits. Introduce obstacles or deterrents that discourage you from engaging in negative behaviors. 3. Shape your environment. Set up your surroundings in a way that supports and encourages good habits. Make it easier to make positive choices by removing temptations and creating cues that prompt desired actions. 4. Harness the power of small decisions. Understand that even seemingly insignificant choices can have a significant impact on your habits and outcomes. Make conscious decisions that align with your goals. 5. Embrace the 2-minute rule. Break down your habits into small, manageable tasks that can be completed in just 2 minutes. This helps you overcome the initial resistance and build momentum towards larger goals. 6. Utilize commitment devices. Use tools or strategies that hold you accountable and lock in better behavior for the future. This can include setting deadlines, creating rewards or consequences, or involving others in your journey. By implementing these strategies, you can make good habits inevitable and bad habits nearly impossible. Take control of your behaviors and pave the way for a more fulfilling and successful future. The 4th law, make it satisfying. In this section of Atomic Habits, James Clear delves into the 4th law of behavior change. The final piece of the puzzle is the reward, which serves as the ultimate outcome of a habit. This stage emphasizes the importance of making a habit satisfying in order to establish a positive behavior. Conversely, it also highlights the significance of making a habit unsatisfying in order to break a negative behavior. Chapter 15. The Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. In Chapter 15, James guides you through the implementation of the Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. Our future behavior is influenced by whether we were rewarded or punished for our past actions. This fundamental aspect of human nature leads us to the cardinal rule: what is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. While the previous laws increase the likelihood of performing a habit in the present, the 4th law focuses on improving our ability to do so in the future. However, there is a discrepancy between the types of rewards in 2 different environments. 1. Immediate return environment. This refers to the early human societal environment, where your actions immediately yield clear and immediate outcomes. 2. Delayed return environment. This pertains to the modern societal environment, where your actions take time before delivering the intended payoff. Although our brains have not undergone significant evolution, we still have a tendency to prioritize immediate rewards. However, our society now places greater value on delayed gratification. As a result, the updated cardinal rule reflects this shift: cardinal rule of behavior change. What is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. To make your habits stick, it is crucial to find ways to achieve immediate success or reward yourself immediately. Chapter 16. Mastering Consistency with Atomic Habits Every Day. Welcome to Chapter 16 of Atomic Habits, where James Clear reveals the secrets to staying consistent with your habits through daily tracking. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of habit trackers and how they can revolutionize your progress. So, what exactly is a habit tracker? It's a visual system that allows you to measure your habit performance on a daily basis. By using a habit tracker, you can experience the following benefits. 1. Obvious. A habit tracker serves as a visual reminder, nudging you to take action and stay on track. 2. Attractive. It generates internal motivation by showcasing the progress you've made and helping you avoid breaking the chain of habits. 3. Satisfying. Each successful iteration of your habit that you record on the tracker brings a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. Now, some people may be hesitant to embrace habit tracking because it seems like an additional burden. After all, you have to build the habit itself and then remember to track it. But fear not. James Clear offers 3 strategies to make habit tracking easier. 1. Automate the metrics you're tracking and set reminders to review them periodically. This way, you won't have to rely solely on your memory. 2. Consistently track your most important habits manually. By dedicating time to record your progress, you'll reinforce the habit and keep it at the forefront of your mind. 3. Adopt a habit stacking approach by combining habit tracking with your existing routine. For example, you can say, after current habit, I will track my habit. Now, it's important to acknowledge that every habit streak will eventually come to an end due to unforeseen interruptions. If you happen to forget or miss a habit, the key is to get back on track immediately and never miss twice. Consistency is the name of the game. However, it's crucial to recognize that habit tracking has its limitations. It's easy to become fixated on the metrics themselves, losing sight of the purpose behind the habits. Habit tracking should serve as a tool for feedback and context, rather than the sole focus. Remember, there are numerous ways to measure progress, so don't let habit tracking consume you. In conclusion, habit tracking is a powerful ally in your journey towards positive change. By implementing these strategies and finding the right balance, you can harness the full potential of habit trackers while staying true to your ultimate goals. Chapter 17. The Power of an Accountability Partner. In this chapter, James jumps into the concept of the fourth law of behavior change, which is to make it unsatisfying. The idea is that pain can be a powerful teacher, as we are less likely to repeat a bad habit if it is painful or unsatisfying. When we make mistakes, the more immediate and costly ones tend to teach us faster and more effectively. However, it's important to note that the level of pain should match the strength of the behavior we want to change. To create an immediate social cost for inaction, Clear suggests employing a habit contract. Habit contract, a self-imposed social cost for any behavior, with the consequence of violating it being public and painful. Furthermore, as human beings, we naturally strive to present our best selves to the world and care about what others think of us. This is where an accountability partner can be incredibly valuable. Accountability partner. Someone who observes our behavior and holds us accountable. To put these concepts into action, Clear provides the following steps. 1. Reward yourself immediately when you successfully complete a habit. 2. Utilize a habit tracker to measure your streak and avoid breaking the chain. 3. If you forget or selectively miss a habit, get back on track and never miss twice. 4. Find an accountability partner who can keep an eye on your behavior. 5. Establish social controls that incentivize you to avoid bad behavior. By implementing these strategies, you can harness the power of accountability and create lasting change in your habits. Remember, the key is to find someone who can support you in your journey and help you stay on track. Advanced Tactics of Atomic Habits. In this section of Atomic Habits, James Clear takes the concepts of the 4 laws of behavior change to the next level by introducing some advanced tactics. Chapter 18. The Truth About Talent, When Genes Matter and When They Don't. In Chapter 18, Clear gets into the age-old debate of talent versus hard work. He emphasizes that your chances of success can be maximized by selecting the right habits and field of competition that align with your strengths and interests. Choosing the right habit can make progress feel effortless, while picking the wrong one can turn life into a constant struggle. It's important to acknowledge that your genes play a role in shaping your habits and behavior. They can be advantageous in favorable circumstances, but can also put you at a disadvantage in unfavorable situations. To better understand your personality and natural inclinations, James Clear introduces the Big Five, a scientific analysis of personality traits categorized into 5 spectrums of behavior. 1. Openness to experience, ranging from being curious and inventive to cautious and consistent. 2. Conscientiousness, ranging from being organized and efficient to easygoing and spontaneous. 3. Extroversion, ranging from being outgoing and energetic, extroverts, to solitary and reserved, introverts. 4. Agreeableness, ranging from being friendly and compassionate to challenging and detached. 5. Neuroticism, ranging from being anxious and sensitive to confident, calm, and stable. By understanding these personality traits, you can build good habits and find a game or field of competition that aligns with your strengths. James Clear introduces the concept of the explore/exploit trade-off. Initially, it's important to explore different activities and options. During this exploration phase, ask yourself the following Atomic Habits discussion questions to help you identify habits and interests that resonate with you. 1. What activities do I find fun, but others find effective? 2. What activities make me lose track of time because I enjoy them so much? 3. Where can I excel and achieve higher returns compared to the average person? 4. What activities come naturally to me? After exploring, it's crucial to focus on the best solution with occasional experimentation. If you're consistently winning, continue to explore and push your boundaries. However, if you find yourself constantly losing, it may be time to explore new options. If you can't find a field that aligns with your abilities, consider creating your own niche or combining multiple interests. While talent is often associated with success, James Clear reminds us that hard work still plays a significant role. As the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Your genes can provide clarity and influence the areas you choose to dedicate your hard work to. In conclusion, understanding your genes. Chapter 19. The Goldilocks Rule: How to Stay Motivated in Life and Work. In the classic fairy tale, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Goldilocks makes her choices based on what feels just right. In Chapter 19 of Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces us to the Goldilocks Rule, a powerful tool for staying motivated in our lives and work. The Goldilocks Rule suggests that we experience peak motivation when we tackle tasks that are just beyond our current abilities. It's all about finding that sweet spot of manageable difficulty, not too hard, not too easy, but just right. Once we establish a habit, it's important to continue engaging in challenges that push us to the edge of our capabilities. Finding this balance is crucial for improvement. Without variety, we quickly become bored and struggle to stay motivated. Surprisingly, it's not failure that poses the greatest threat to our success, but rather, it's the monotony of routine habits that become less exciting, engaging, and fulfilling over time. To combat this boredom, we must be willing to embrace it and do things that may not be immediately enjoyable. It's during these moments of discomfort that we push ourselves to achieve greatness. Professionals understand the importance of sticking to their schedule, even when it's not always fun or glamorous. On the other hand, amateurs often give up when faced with boredom or lack of immediate gratification. By embracing the Goldilocks Rule and pushing through moments of boredom, we can maintain our motivation and continue to strive for success. Chapter 20. The Drawbacks of Creating Atomic Habits. In Chapter 20, James emphasizes the incredible benefits of habit creation. However, it's important to acknowledge that there can also be downsides to this process. On the upside, creating habits allows us to effortlessly perform simple tasks, freeing up our attention to focus on the finer details. This makes us more efficient and effective in our actions. But on the downside, this automaticity can cause us to overlook small errors and valuable feedback. We may become complacent and fail to notice areas where improvement is needed. Nevertheless, it is crucial to challenge ourselves and continuously improve our habits in order to reach higher levels of performance. The ultimate goal should be to maximize our potential and achieve mastery. Mastery is the result of combining our automatic habits with deliberate practice. By integrating these two elements, we can grow and build upon our progress, ultimately establishing a new level of performance. It is a continuous cycle of hard work, success, and overcoming new challenges. So, while there may be downsides to creating atomic habits, the key lies in finding the balance between automaticity and deliberate practice. By doing so, we can unlock our full potential and achieve mastery in our chosen endeavors. Review. Creating good habits is important, but it's equally important to reflect and review in order to grow. Reflection and review: this process allows you to remain conscious of your performance over time and improve your habits in the long term. There are two primary modes. Annual review: a yearly reflection on your progress that asks these three questions. 1. What went well this year? 2. What didn't go so well this year? 3. What did I learn? Integrity report: a mid-year report that helps you realize mistakes, revisit core values, and reflect on your identity by asking these questions. 1. What are the core values that drive my life and work? 2. How am I living and working with integrity right now? 3. How can I set a higher standard in the future? Lastly, we need to be careful about holding on to a fixed identity as it limits our growth beyond that identity. The key to mitigating these losses of identity is to redefine yourself in a way that allows you to keep important aspects of your identity even if your particular role changes. Next steps. In the conclusion, Clear succinctly summarizes the key concepts and urges readers to put the principles of Atomic Habits into practice for ongoing personal growth. He offers practical advice on how to incorporate these strategies into different areas of life. I also hope that you feel motivated to grab your own copy of Atomic Habits. You can find the link in the description below.